The topic of the bardo has been discussed very briefly, and we talked about its origins, where it came from, and then we talked a little bit about different types of art, basically scrollwork, paintings, sometimes murals, and really quite often illuminated manuscripts, which are really practice manuals, except with not just text but with images. And a number of these that we have as examples come from Mongolia, where the meditation practice of the Bardo Todal was quite popular. And it was quite popular to also replicate as art. Now, in terms of the figures that represent the Bardo Todal practice, because remember, the Bardo Todal is a meditation practice, and it is composed really of 42 and 58 different deities, 100 in total, so we could say the 100 peaceful and wrathful deities. And this is actually a cycle of meditation. It's a cycle of revealed treasure practices, and the Bardo Todal is a specific meditation that is done by people who choose to take this on as a particular Buddhist meditation that they like, or it's recommended that they perform. And it also has an important element or aspect of it that relates to the after death, before rebirth period of time, when the meditation practice is replicated while in the between state, between death and rebirth. And this is the meditation of the peaceful and wrathful deities of the Bardo. If you do not do this meditation, if you're not interested in this meditation, then these figures and their names, who they are, just really doesn't matter. We can simply look on this as a very interesting art. But in terms of who are these deities, well, we have 42 peaceful and we have 58 wrathful. Now, most of them are extremely common. They are not unusual. They are not, for the most part, different than what is expected or different from what can be found in other practices. Now, not all practices have 100 different deities. They often have far fewer. But there are certain standard deities that perform various functions in rituals and in tantric theory. So, for the 42 peaceful, the first two are very foundational to the Nyingma tradition of Buddhism, and that is Samantabhadra, the primordial Buddha, and the consort Samantabhadri. Very understandable that they would be there. These are followed by the 5 male and female Buddhas, or the 5 Buddhas with their consorts. And these are the standard 5 Buddhas that are represented in all Nyingma and Sarma practices, such as Vairochana, Akshobhya, Amitabha, Amoghasiddhi, and Ratnasambhava, along with their consorts, which are standard. The 8 great bodhisattvas, and the 8 great bodhisattvas, or the 8 male bodhisattvas in this system, are the standard 8 bodhisattvas that we have sometimes in Mahayana Buddhism, but most often in Vajrayana. So it's really Avalokiteshvara, Manjushri, Vajrapani, Maitreya, and then the others, Kshitigarbha, Akashagarbha. The female bodhisattvas are actually represented primarily as offering goddesses in other tantric rituals, offering goddesses and the offering of the 5 senses. Now, what is unique are the 6 munis, or the 6 sages of the 6 realms. So these are our 6 different Buddhas, usually depicted standing, and they represent a Buddha teaching in each of the 6 realms of existence as we understand it from the system of 6 sections of the wheel of life. Of course, some traditions just teach a 5 system or sections, others a 4, and in the original Ajanta caves, and we have many more sections than 6 for the wheel of life. Now, for the 58 then we have 4 male and female gatekeepers, and again, these are absolutely standard to many, many other practices, both Nyingma and Sarma. And it is the same for the 58 wrathful deities. The five wrathful males are the five Heruka that we find in many different Nyingma systems. The 8 yoginis we find in some Sarma systems, but we find them in other Nyingma tantras, and they are semi-peaceful, semi-wrathful female Dakini yogini-looking figures. Now, in terms of more unique, in the peaceful we have the 6 munis, the 6 Buddhas, but in the 58 wrathful we actually have what's called the 8 Tramen deities, and these are amalgamated deities. In Sanskrit, some people like to think that they are Pishasis. I'm not sure if they're technically Pishasis or not. But the 8 Tramen are essentially identical to the 8 yoginis. They're in this semi-peaceful, semi-wrathful Heruka kind of form, but their faces are animal faces. So they're either tigers or birds or some kind of animal. These are somewhat unique to this practice, and I'm not sure how they might correspond to other practices like Chakrasamvara or Vajrayogini that might also have female figures that have animal and bird faces, but I'm not sure how they relate to each other. The 4 female gatekeepers and then are standard. The 28 Ishvaris, these are more unique again to this Bardo practice. So we have the 6 munis, we have the 8 Tramen, amalgamated female figures, then the 28 Ishvaris. 28 Ishvaris are divided into 4 groups, peaceful, increasing powerful, and wrathful, and they appear as these kind of wrathful female deities. So this is really the 100 peaceful and wrathful deities, and the majority of them are not unrelated to other tantras. So it's not like all of these deities are new and there's no foundation for them in other practices. In fact, most are very standardized to other tantric systems. So if you find this useful, then you can press the like button, you can subscribe, you can share, and you can also help support HAR by becoming a donor on HAR on Patreon.